Shoot my shot with perfect aim. Third degree, that perfect flame. Ain't no sleep, that's the game. Oh, so southern, that's the slang. When they see me, that's the main. Chasing checks and fly like planes. Big old stick, I bought a cane. Flick my wrist and bought the ring. I'm so boss, we're not the same. Paid the cost and kept the change. Now I'm walking Hall of Fame. And I reside in the cloud. Grand wishes with these bitches. Taking pictures with the crowd and I'm out.
Yo. What's good? Peace, blessings, glory, praise, and honor to the Most High. And happy Thursday. I hope all is well with everybody. Shout out to my poets, writers, content creators, authors, dancers, choreographers. Much love. Hey, look. Wanted to switch it up a little bit. We'll get back to the serious stuff maybe next week. Tonight, we wanted to do something a little different. Just my 2 cents. Just how I feel. Movie trilogies. What we doing? Me personally, I have a love-hate relationship with them. It all depends on how you want to look at it. That's cool. I want to talk about the honorable mentions, the good, the bad, the uglies. I want to reminisce a little bit. Put it this way. Tonight, we are talking movie trilogies, old, new, classics, and not so favorite. Let's see who the true movie buffs are. But more importantly, let's have some fun. Let's reminisce. Maybe even discover something we haven't even checked out yet, or even cataloged for that matter. This is going to be an interesting one. I'm curious. Greatest trilogy of all time, in your opinion? Worst trilogy of all time, in your opinion? I want to know, do we have any movie buffs? Anybody here that just has specific shows that they watch or they can hit on replay at any given moment? We're going to get there. In the meantime, in between time, while I'm waiting on Max to pull up in the studio, I know y'all have heard about this case. Don't know how y'all feel about it, but Lindsay Clancy is currently on trial right now for the unaliving of all of her children. She strangled them to death. They're trying to get her off on manslaughter. Absolutely disgusting work. I'm going to end up doing a reaction video to that at some point, probably tomorrow, because I don't understand y'all, man. Hold on a minute. Let me get this right. Hold on a second. I thought I had it straight. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. All right. Let me get my angles right. Uh, I don't know how in the world y'all got so much vitriol towards men when they go through these situations, and when they present them having mental instabilities or they're going through stuff, nobody has compassion for it. You just, it's jail, it's prison. We don't give a damn what you were going through or none of that. Your ass need to go down, and that's the bottom line to it, period. But y'all really full blown pulled up, rallied behind this woman, gave her $1 million, and trying to get her off. That's neither here nor there. We gonna talk about that though. Hold on, let me get this right. All right, Max, I see you in the studio. I'll bring you up when you are camera friendly. Tonight's conversation: movie trilogies, good, bad, and ugly. Max, what's up?
What's what's going on, guys?
Good
So,
man, good man. Movie trilogies. This is one I haven't done yet. Um,
mm,
that we kind of elaborated on it a little bit. We never really got into it though, but I figured why not? This is a perfect time. So, I
yeah,
mean, you got some good ones, you got some awful ones. You got you got
yeah,
you got some that nobody know about. I want to talk about
mm.
all of it, man. So, I mean, where you want to start? You want to start with the good, the bad? Do you believe in trilogies? Do you think that um, there are
Mm.
some that just should never have them? Like, what we talking about?
Well, uh, there are very few. I grew up listening to a lot of movie reviews since like high school, so um, specifically one group. They're now called Double Toasted. They used to be called Spill.com. And I'll say this. There are very few movies that trilogies are great in. Toy Story, I mean, now that it's turned to a franchise rather than a trilogy, but had Toy Story stayed the three, it would have been one of the few perfect trilogies. Trilogies can work, but it depends on who's behind them. I can name a few. I know that Star Wars tends to be um, highly favored in trilogies. I think obviously some will probably have favored maybe the first two over the third, but I think it depends on who you talk to. Um, if y'all want to come at me, that's fine. I haven't seen Star Wars. And I know that's a crime because I'm like, how are you an actor not see it? It's like, I guess it's just one of those things where like it hasn't been pushed hard enough to me, but you're like, what? It just hasn't. And the funny thing is, like, one of the movie ideas that I had took place in space. Me and my friend used to talk about it. He's like, "How you want to do that?" But it's not. But then, and then when I came with a concept, my cousin's like, "That's literally Star Wars." I'm like, "What?" I was like, "No." I was thinking more based on the video game, but I don't know. That's the thing. Not too many movies or trilogies nowadays. I would say Jaws, like, I mean, but they're not even a trilogy. That's just like there's like what four of them, and they're they're oh man, like the second one is like decent. but everything after that, everyone's just like, "What is this?" And I owned the fourth one for years. I think I still have it hanging around here. But I used to watch it all the time only because it was the only one I had. I hadn't owned the first one until years later. But yeah, they can work depending on who it is. What about you?
So it's a make or break because two things that I factor in. If you're going to do a trilogy, me personally, I need all the original characters in all of them. Now, if you have to substitute people, it has to make sense. If it doesn't make sense and it doesn't tie into the first two or the second one going into the third one, then we have a problem. And a lot of these franchises that do it, you don't really capture the magic. Terminator, the first one that comes to mind for me.
I was thinking Terminator.
I thoroughly enjoyed the first three.
Interesting. I never heard anyone include the third one.
Part three dipped off. Part 4,
Salvation.
Yeah.
That's funny. I liked Salvation. I actually liked Terminator Salvation.
I'm not. It's like it wasn't terrible. It was just I have a issue with them taking people out and then not making it make sense when you introduce other people. Isn't Salvation the one with what's his name? It's not
Christian Bale.
Christian Bale, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Yeah, he plays John Connor. I was gonna say.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like.
Well, let's start off, right? So are we gonna go with bad franchises, bad trilogies, or? Well, you're saying that's good. You like the third. Sorry.
I think what I'm getting at is, all right. There just should be a limitation to some of them. You're stretching it with 3, but then when you go into 4, 5, and all that, come on.
Yeah, there's like 7 of them. That's the thing.
Yeah. As far as Star Wars, I was never a Star Wars fanatic. I seen them. It just wasn't really my thing personally. But Raiders of the Lost Ark, you got me with that one. I loved Raiders of the Lost Ark. Toy Story, cool.
Be honest.
I'm not really a Toy Story type of a person. I like the first and the second one. I didn't really bother with the rest of them. Then there's Tremors. Tremors was a classic to me.
They have 3 of them. There's 3 Tremors.
Tremors has like 6 or 7.
Oh my gosh. That's not even a trilogy. That's a franchise.
Yeah. They should have just stopped at 3. They destroyed Tremors after 3.
After the first one. Oh, okay. So 3 of them are good out of the
3 of them
6.
For me. 3 of them were pretty good. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me think about this. No. 3 wasn't. 3 wasn't. Sorry. Just the first 2.
Okay. You know what's crazy? So I think examples of good trilogies would be, it's hard when they're not franchises, because a lot of movies that I would still consider decent trilogies, like we said with Terminator, I I either used to or still own the third Terminator as well. It's funny how for years I owned like what would be considered the worst of the series of movies before later on, like the original movies I would see on TV, but then I would buy or own like the worst sequels of those movies, like Jaws: The Revenge, Terminator 3: Rise of the Machines. The first one, which is the first one without James Cameron's touch, and you could really see it. Um, and uh, for me, like Terminator 3 is decent, right? Um, but I don't like the idea of changing John Connor. I think the story is that the kid retired from acting, or he got into a lot of mess after Terminator 2. But I felt like if you could just let the kid clean up, and if he wants to come back to acting, do it. Otherwise, I wouldn't touch anything because it makes no like he would naturally fit the age that they're trying to portray through everyone else. Like Terminator Salvation, I actually enjoyed it, and me and a close friend were talking about this at one point. It's like it's just that it didn't look as dramatic as James Cameron made it out to be because he made the apocalypse look like a junkyard. Salvation just made it look like a vast. From what I can remember, they made where they were fighting a vast desert, and machines just showed up whenever they could. Whereas when he portrayed it, like when he showed Los Angeles in the post-apocalyptic, it was like mountains of body of skulls and metal parts, and it looked like if Wall-E existed with the Terminator, where he had nothing but mountains of garbage. Like literally, Terminator 2 was that, but with machinery. And at least in the war, in the machine versus human wars against Skynet, I think was it Terminator Genesis? I think Terminator Genesis was the only one that brought back a little bit of the atmosphere of what James Cameron pictured in the post-apocalyptic scenes because it was at night. But I think that's the thing. Like Salvation showed us what could happen during the day. It's like you think about it. Whenever James Cameron showed the war, it was at night. You never saw a daylight scene, and people forget. Like you know what? We got to remember that. Like Terminator 3 showed that more, where you saw more Terminators walking around, and they didn't look as puppeteery. Don't get me wrong, James Cameron's effects is amazing. It's just that because what I like is that he used a lot of practicals. He still used practicals for when he showed uh, the 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 bare ectoskeletons with their laser machine guns, just like that. Which stays to the style because then you could see when Arnold appears, he's acting such as that way with his movements, where he's acting robotic. And then you see the actual exoskeletons slash puppets, or maybe they actually built a model that's remote control, moving the exact same way, if not similar. Because Terminator 3, they showed obviously just CGI Terminators just walking around with their guns, and then I remember the beginning, one of them looks at the camera and then aims at it. I'm going off track here. Good examples of good trilogies. One of them is, we could start with this, Back to the Future Part 1, 2, and 3. It is considered one of the best well-written trilogies, consistent trilogies of all time, because they have a consistency in them. This Part 2 is considered the worst one to some people, from what I hear. I personally love all three. I could see what people mean about the second one, but the second one is actually fun. Like to see Biff's spoiler alert for anyone, potential spoiler alerts for anyone that may not have seen the trilogy. So just keep in mind. Give me a chance before you decide if you want to click or listen or stop or listen. So this one deals with Biff's side of things, and it's funny how he interacts with his older self. you see scenes that you see what kind of leads up to some of the scenes that happen in the first movie, because it's straight cut, just Marty and his dad, like, oh my gosh, I gotta make sure he hooks up with this person and that person, otherwise this doesn't exist. And with the second movie, what I like is that you get to see a layer that doesn't get shown in the first one. You see Biff's fixation. It's like, oh, there's a layer to him now, even though he's still a bit of a, I want to say, fairly one-noted '80s villain, but you can kind of see a little layer to his bullying, where it's like, okay, he's definitely a guy who goes over the top. And the third one, the second automatically needs a third one because of how they wrote it. So they built it with the intention of a third one, and I love the third one. I think it's considered a spaghetti western, and it's actually interesting. I like the third one because it's a very different dynamic. There's a consistency in the part that they're trying to get home, so the story stays the same. It kind of builds like a mini series where, like, through movies you're saying, okay, we gotta get home. Oh no, we have a problem. We gotta go to the future and fix this. Now we're just trying to get. And then the second and third one have to deal with. We just need to get back home, but we're having a hard time doing that. You know what I mean? So, have you ever seen the Back to the Futures?
I've seen all of them.
What is your opinion on them?
I wasn't really a big fan of part 3. Like
Really?
the whole Western thing. I mean, it was all right.
Mm.
I personally like part 2. I don't know what the big blowout is about part 2, but I enjoyed part 2. Part 3 was okay. It's not something that I would rewatch over and over again, but for the sake of putting it in a category, I do agree. Those were the more fluent. To me, that one, Batman series,
The Dark Knight series. Yeah, I was thinking of that.
How do you feel about Spider-Man, and what Marvel and DC has done with theirs? And because I'm probably the only one that thinks this, but Spider-Man without Tobey Maguire, I'm not a fan of it. And I know I've heard y'all say there's pretty decent reviews on this recent Spider-Man. I haven't watched past 3. I know another one that I got to mention too real quick before I forget, Home Alone.
Oh yeah, there's like 3 of them, but
I just didn't want to forget to mention it because Macaulay Culkin is a legend as far as the Christmassy. It was weird though because y'all abandoned y'all kid, and it was like that's supposed to be a whole Christmas type of a thing. And rest in peace to the homeless woman, man. I can't think of her name.
Yeah.
She recently passed away.
Yeah, we lost a lot of actresses, specifically actresses this year so far. We gotta mention them towards the end, actually. But that's unless you're gonna dedicate a whole different episode to that. But yeah, that's I forgot her name. And as well, she's from Home Alone too. She's a pivotal part in that movie. If you haven't seen it in the audience. Yeah, Home Alone. There's like a third one, but it has nothing to do with Macaulay. And then I've never seen it, but I hear it's not good. I should try to see it just to see like what the fuss is. Like, okay, what is bad about it? Is it just bad acting? Is it just that it's a repeat of everything else? Like,
well, he's not in it at all.
Yeah, I know. It's a different child.
Yeah, and like you reverted. Like he's older now. How are you doing? I don't know.
Wow. I gotta see it. It's just that is funny. The idea of the fact that they leave their kid twice in like for 2 years straight is just absolutely absurd. I'm like, how do you lose your child? Like,
but I love Home Alone. I could not mention that. You know what I'm saying? But part 3,
it's weird. Yeah, no, I hear you. It's weird. in many ways, I prefer the second one than the first Home Alone. I know people are looking at me like, "What?" One of my friends, she was always like, "What? I like the first one better." Like, I like the second one better. I know why the first one she likes, because I think because it's a little more uh in subtle ways they kind of make references to Jesus Christ through one of the characters, um and how he actually becomes a helpful character. The old man that everyone thought was a weird a killer. Um, a lot of people have examined that movie and looked at it like he kind of is like their figurative metaphor for Jesus, because he has the hat, the injured hands, and the places where the nails would have been crossed. He's the one helping him at the church. He's the one that helps him at the end. Um, and I was like, oh, that's an interesting way of looking at it. I think it's just the fact that like the second one had the crazier traps. I'm just like, why? And maybe because it's in New York, so I'm biased, but it's just this to do that twice is just funny and just insane. Like I love how like the dad is the one that's like, wait, what? We lost Kevin again? Like, and the mom's just freaking out. And the fact that, rest in peace to the parents, the actors who played the parents, I can't believe that they're dead. That's wild. Both at the same age too, which is really creepy. Um, and that's gonna suck to watch, man. Both of those parents, those actors, and she, it's one of those movies where like, yeah, like there's an attempt, and there's always a need to milk things. Like if I go back to Jaws real quick, right? Jaws 2 had a had a chance to be a little more darker. There was a book, I don't know if it ever got released, but there was a story about the fact that um there was a potential to make a darker and probably more interesting version of Jaws 2, where they still didn't recover from what happened in the first movie, and they have to deal with another threat. So on top of the fact that they're trying to economically recover from a shark attack in a town where nothing ever happens, they get another attack. They're having another attacks, and then there's like, I think it's like a motivation of like, okay, how do we deal with that now? I think in a way, as I'm saying this, I could see where that may not have fully worked, because it's like, okay, what's the motivation? Because there's not, if no one's coming to town, if the world just looks like depression season, what's there to kill? What are we eating, and what's the motivation? What's gonna convince people that Amity Island is worth vacationing at if everyone's still talking about the attacks of 1975, if you want to talk about it like that? If they want to treat, like, if they treat it like they're not their big 9/11 story. Like, I say it like that because when places don't have a type of incident that never occurs, and that occurs to their location, that's like a big deal, and that stays with them. They'll be like, "Oh, remember the murder of 1993." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I remember that." Like, so if it's a shark, like they're gonna remember 1975 or 1974. Like, we ain't going back there. Remember what happened? Like, but they killed the shark. We don't care. Like, how many people to this day you can't even talk about the World Trade Center without people mentioning, "Oh my gosh, I can't imagine jumping from that height," because that's all they remember now. And meanwhile, there's beautiful footage. There's so much footage of it before that. Like, you get to see what it was looking like, what you would have walked through, what it would look like from just being a tourist. All people remembers the worst day of its existence. So, there was a chance to do that with Jaws too, and they didn't do that. The way that they do it in the movie is where it's just literally the repeated notion of like the politicians don't want to believe Martin Brody, even though they've been down that road. It's the repeated neglect of believing the one man that you need to be listening to. To a degree, it works, but at the same time, it's repetitive.
Yeah, I didn't like that either.
I was just like, what?
It wasn't realistic enough. It's like you telling me you got ate up by a shark. Oh, we didn't see it, so we you just because you said you saw it, that don't mean we experienced it. It's like no, now y'all got to see it to believe it again, and
Yeah.
that's what I had a problem with the Home Alone thing, with the Spider-Man thing. Uh,
Mm.
hell, I'm bouncing from genre to genre. I'm about
Yeah.
to.
Sorry.
I
So,
know it's cool because there's just so many of them. I'm trying to
yeah.
get them before I blank out. Mortal Kombat is one that I gotta bring up. I got a huge issue with the Mortal Kombat.
Oh
Um,
man. Yeah. You
the
asked me a question about Spider-Man too.
Spider-Man,
I
yeah,
just
yeah,
remembered. I realized I never got to answer that question. Sorry.
yeah,
You
yeah,
said
yeah.
Mortal Kombat and what else? You had an issue with Mortal Kombat and what else?
I had a so I had an issue with Mortal Kombat. Like the first one that they put out. I mean, granted, the time span or the frame that they was in at that time, they worked with what they had. It was fairly impressive. They didn't have all this CGI and all this other stuff going on. It was just
Mm.
then you go into these other ones, and it's like you took certain elements out of it that made me excited for it. This last one, I haven't got a chance to see it yet. It's with Johnny Cage as one of the main characters. From what I heard, the hype over it is pretty good, but I'm still on reserve with that one. But yeah, I don't know. It's Mortal Kombat is one of my favorite movies, video games, just all across the board. And I think they could have done so much more with the first or the second one and the
There's three of
third
them.
one. It's
I
it's
didn't know it was three.
yeah, it's actually, let's see. So it's the first one. The second one is with it's I'd have to pull it up because it's like it's so many of them. Like they got branches of them, and
Yeah.
the one that I'm referring to, the guy wasn't Luke Kane wasn't the main character in this one. It was another character from
Mm.
like the video game. He didn't even have nothing to do with part one. They
There's
they
threw them in
went
there.
they just thrust them in there. It was like, how did we get from this to this? And he was never introduced in part one, but now he's in here. Like I didn't like that.
Yeah. Iron Man has three movies too, I believe. Like it's sometimes just the recasting that throws people off. Like, you know, and I never seen the Mortal Kombat movies, unfortunately, so I can't have an opinion. But I see that issue, like when you throw in characters that have nothing, when there's no relevancy, when there's no continuation, it's like, what are you doing? When you lose the continuity in major ways, it's like, what? You know, I think Keanu Reeves talked about how when they made a Speed 2 Cruise Control, he was like, I'm not doing that because like it doesn't make sense because they're doing it with a boat. It's like a boat goes like what? How fast? Like that's not even that fast. The bus made sense because it goes at a certain speed where you could believe things. Even though it's 70 miles an hour jumping off a bridge, jumping across a incomplete bridge is quite questionable.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, that's all it goes, 70 miles an hour. Like, bro, I go 70 miles. Like, that's nothing. But then again, if you look at the context of the movie, like, if you're someone who has to do very dangerous things to a bus just to protect it, and the bus is going 55 miles an hour, that's still fast for me. especially when he has to crawl, when he has to go underneath it and everything. I'm like, oh yeah, forget about it. I stand corrected. 55 is fast in the context of it could be dangerous too. Especially because it's a bus, it's even that's what makes it more edgy. But yeah, it's like that's not a trilogy. That's just like sequels. That the sequel is just like nope. It's just a nope. You asked about Spider-Man, so forgive me for being off track. I forgot how I think you mentioned Home Alone. I just went with it. So my opinions on Spider-Man is that I still love Tobey Maguire. We all grew up with Tobey Maguire. He is the original Spider-Man. Like original first real live action Spider-Man that is memorable because they did one in the 70s, but it was neither here nor hearsay. I give them props to the attempts in the 70s. It's just that it doesn't hold up. But Toby's Toby, I think it's just like I was talking to my friend about the third one too, because the third one is where everyone has mixed emotions. The first two are celebrated. The second one is like goated to people. Is like one of the greatest of all time, and the first one is just legacy because it's the first cinematic Spider-Man movie, and to me, it's like the darkest one, in my opinion, because a lot of stuff happens right away. It's the most campiest, but the most dark because of the fact that they went straight to Green Goblin. Green Goblin is like his version of the Joker. Like going off the bat with like the most intense villain, depending on who you talk to, is like I feel like he's one of those tragic villains because this is like he's like a tortured mind and sad. So yeah, that's why I feel like it's darkest. Especially that fight where there's like no music, nothing, just them going at it. On I don't know if it was Roosevelt Island. I think it was Roosevelt Island or some abandoned part of Queens. I would love to have known where that where they built what they were trying to model after when they do that fight scene. But compared to the other movies, if I try to take nostalgia away, Toby's is like I think the most comic booky movie, I think, because I think because it's campy, it fits that aura of a comic book. Because Spider-Man is a lot of elements that are not necessarily dark, depending on how you portray it. I keep thinking of the '60s cartoons and all the cartoons that predate it. But I think like his is the most like comic book like movie in my opinion because of the way it's set up. It's made to be where you can relate to him on a human level, especially in Spider-Man 2, but you still have elements that reminds you that this is still a comic book movie because of the way the tone of it brings that impression. Andrew Garfield does like this is where his fell into. I mean, he's not a trilogy, but since you asked about the different Spider-Mans, Toby's trilogy, I think, works for what it is. I made this argument with my friend actually. So let me do this first. I think Spider-Man 3, if you look at it the right way, works as it is. It's just a little cringe because he is presented as someone who's a little neglectful to what matters most. Because he's the perfect example of when someone who doesn't have everything and all of a sudden it's thrown at you, you lose sight of what really matters because now you have this fortune that has been given to you now. Like at first people didn't like him. In the second one, he's trying to deal with living life as Spider-Man and Peter. The third one, he's loved by everybody. He has no problems. He has the girl of his dreams. He has everyone loving him. And meanwhile, he forgets that you're still a person with daily problems and you still have a girlfriend who has her own problems that are not like yours, or at the very least, should still be relatable to you at a human level because he loses sight of that. He gets so caught up in being Spider-Man that he loses himself as Peter Parker. It's a perfect example of losing your identity within the blessings that have been given to you. Um, Actually, if you think about it, it's fairly biblical too, because and then he goes into the streak of like just acting emo and obnoxious and prideful and all that stuff. And the thing is, it makes the funniest meme ever. The movie's from 2007. Was it nine? Is that what's that? 19 years now? 19? No, yeah, 10. Uh, is that 19 years? Yeah, that's still like funny to people. Um, Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland's. Andrew is the most. People say he's the most accurate Spider-Man because of the way he portrays himself. People will say that it's like it's the writing that messed him up, but his movies are actually pretty good. The Amazing Spider-Man is actually pretty good. It's just that I think it tries too hard to be like Batman. It tries too hard to be dark because the dark Christopher Nolan kind of set the standard, a new standard for comic book movies, where you could bring grounding to them. Because he did that with Batman, which you can do that. Batman has no powers whatsoever. He's literally just a very well trained stealth billionaire who is trying to help a corrupted city. What makes it good is that because it's grounded, you can see that like one man can't do everything. As you get older, you're not going to be you can't handle being Batman. I think they're too quick in showing that like he has to eventually think about passing the mantle. But I didn't because they skipped so many years by the time the third one shows up. I think that hurts a little bit. Um, with yeah, Garfield tries to be too much like Batman. Tom Holland's, I think what's gonna make him up there with Toby is the fact that they did something different with Spider-Man. And I give them props for that. Looking back at all his movies, he has more than Toby and Andrew combined. He has his appearance alone is like at least almost I think 7 movies, if not 6. And what I like is that they did the reverse. They they took a they gave him the Job experience. What I mean by that, people, is the book of Job is the story of like how God tested his faith by allowing things to be taken away from him just to show off the fact that he will not lose his faith in Christ no matter what happens. And that he will be rewarded 10 times over. That's where the verse, the Lord taketh and the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. Tom Holland's Spider-Man gets to experience that in a way that spans several movies, and it works because Brand New Day brings a new light to his franchise. And I think his real life situation with Zendaya adds another layer of charm to his movies. Because he's spoiled off the bat with you're going to be part of the Avengers, you're going to be mentored by the most powerful man in the industry, Tony Stark. You know, you're going to be given a crazy suit and everything. And he's quickly having to learn how to be humble. And he gets humbled over time. Instead of the ground up, he's being brought down. And he has to learn how to reset himself. And I love the fact that that's what they did. That's how differently they went with Tom Holland. Andrew I feel bad for him as an actor when it comes to that when his sequels, because I don't think he got the chance to really thrive fully as Spider-Man. He quickly gets overshadowed by a third version already, and he's actually pretty good. He's funny. Andrew Garfield actually did a great job in his movies. It's just that I don't think he got a chance to really go full all out. But I do think his movies were, and that's not his fault, but I do think they tried to be too much like Batman. But Tom Holland's tries to be its own movies, its own Spider-Man, and it works in the MCU universe because they incorporate his struggles while not repeating the same origin again and again and again. Batman needed the revival, so he's like the revival uh for Spider-Man, and being like, okay, since we need a new Spider-Man, or because I think it's a contract thing, like if Sony wants to own it or something like that, they had to make a Spider-Man movie. It's a good way of bringing a new twist to existing character that everyone already loves.
You really love Spider-Man, don't you?
Yeah.
I could tell. I could tell you put your heart into that. And look,
Yeah.
I ain't mad at you because, like I said, I watched what was that one? The one after part 3. I did watch some of that.
Which one, Tom Holland's or Andrews?
It's it's Andrew. Andrew's
Andrew, yeah.
yeah. That's the one with Emma Stone.
Yeah. She
Yeah,
was good. She was good. Gwen
I did.
Stacy.
Yeah. See, I'm just weird. Like I'm wired differently. I have a pet peeve about switching and altering characters
Mm.
because like I'm used to seeing this person,
Yeah.
but now you want me to get in the mind of another completely different human being with a different set of personality traits. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Nah, I don't blame you. Like,
yeah,
how do you feel about the other ones outside of Toby's? Because I know Toby will always be our favorite because that's what we grew up with. That's our Spider-Man forever.
I don't have no judgment towards the other gentlemen or the other films. I would be doing my disservice to critique them when I never watched them. So I
Oh, you
would
never
have,
seen them? Okay.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like I have a pet peeve with moving on to something when I really had to force myself to complete all the Terminators, you know, because for me it was
Yeah.
like once the original Connor was gone, I really didn't want to be bothered. But this is the
Yeah.
Terminator, so I gotta see it all the way through, no matter what.
Oh,
And to be fair, they brought Sarah Connor back,
yeah.
so I
Uh,
was like, y'all gave me something.
yeah. But
So
I didn't like what they did with Dark Fate.
it was it was bad. It
It was still.
it was. I mean, I could sit and watch it all the way through, but I wouldn't replay it. You know, whoever the girl was supposed to be, the protector, and she's supposed to be getting into it with Sarah Connor. That that whole thing to me was just why did y'all do that?
It was
Uh,
unnecessary.
let's go into because we could do this all day for real. I want to talk about the ones that should have never went. We could talk about the honorable mentions, the ones that don't get no love, and we can talk about the ones that just y'all should have just left it alone. Period.
Hmm. Well,
Because
what do you want to start with?
I want to go with the honorable mentions. Let's go with the honorable mentions. Um,
Okay.
Saw is super slept on.
Saw. Hmm. There's
Saw
three of them, right? There's three, right?
there's like 7 of them, bro.
7.
There's like 7 of them.
Yay. I
Um,
think that's the thing. I'm not a horror person, but I know. Are there? No, there's only 2 Halloween movies, right? Oh no, there's more. I'm bugging. There's like a lot of them.
no, Halloween got a whole lot.
A whole franchise.
I'm so
Scream too.
I'm mad at myself for not even mentioning Halloween because that was horror is one of my genres.
Mm, that's the thing. I'm not a horror fan like that. The closest thing was only ever Jaws, but um, it's funny. I don't hate the third movie, Jaws. Like Jaws 3. I low key like it. Like it's just because it's different. It's like it's in a different place. It has nothing to do with Amity, and it's like a different type of circumstance. I think it's just the way it's written probably doesn't help it, but the way that they dealt with stuff is like, that kind of makes sense. It's just the animatronics just doesn't live up to the threat. I mean, it lives up to a threat, but it's like they keep making the shark bigger and bigger to the point where I'm just like, how far are you gonna go with this?
Right.
So the Saw movies, I don't have an opinion. Unfortunately, I've never seen them.
No, it's
But
just. I mean,
yeah,
it's just movies that you can think of that you would. I mean, mine's
give
is
honorable message. Yeah, honorable mentions. Okay, you think Saws. For me, I think what's a third trilogies that get slept on? Um, oh man, oh I feel like there's something I'm thinking of, but I can't think of it. There's like 3 movies. Oh, Creed. I just remembered. Creed. So far is a trilogy. Um, I think I don't know what people. I don't know how people felt about the third one, but I think that third one is worth giving some love to because it kind of shows a man's experience of dealing with certain traumas or feeling with unforgiving himself for things and just like it's like an example of kind of like guys just need to duke it out. I think that's a movie that deserves some love. I watched it with a friend, and it was Michael B. Jordan's directorial, I think, debut, and he did a good job. I think that movie is good for what it is. I feel like there's a layer or two that's still missing, in my opinion. But I think it was still good. That's a trilogy worth exploring because they're the continue. They're like after the. They're kind of in a way they're kind of part of the Rocky franchise. Um, Rocky 3. It's a franchise though, but the first 3 Rockies, great. I personally, everyone talks about the 4th one. I don't care for it. The fight is great. The drama is there, but it's just between the beginning and the last fight. I don't feel like there's anything there. It's like I was like, okay, you're fighting for revenge. What are we doing? I just felt that 4th one. I love Sylvester Stallone, and I think he was doing it because it was a reflection of what was going on at that time. So he was trying to just use his movies for it, but not use it, but like you like make a reference through his work. But um, I just don't. I didn't think that 4th one needed to happen. It works for the fact that now we have Creed, so it kind of has something to work off of because the Creed movies make a big reference to it. The second one specifically adds a layer to the 4th one, but I just I didn't see the point for a 4th Rocky like that. The third one is great. It's a good coming full circle type of movie, in my honest opinion. But his fifth one, people say should be given some honorable mention. I know it's not a trilogy, but his fifth movie is something to explore about, considering just the humblingness of everything. Um, hmm. What's a third movie? What's a trilogy?
I gotta bring up Predator. I gotta
Ooh,
bring. I gotta bring up Predator. I gotta bring up Aliens. I gotta bring up what's the other one? I was just thinking about it. I wasn't a big fan of Rambo.
oh,
Uh,
really?
Rambo. It was to me. If I had to choose between Predator and Rambo, I'm going with Predator. I thought Arnold Schwarzenegger played that army badass role better than Rambo did, but that's just my
Interesting.
personal. That's
And I
my
love, yeah,
personal.
I love Schwarzenegger though. I like both of them. They both like bring a layer to things. Um, interesting.
The Karate Kid. I gotta
Oh
bring up
yeah.
Karate
Oh
Kid.
yeah, the
That
third one I actually liked. I remember seeing it. It was actually pretty good.
yeah.
Who's what it was? Hilary Swank, I believe. Yeah, Hilary Swank played the Karate Kid. Um, in the third one, I was like, who played the kid? Yeah, Karate Kid. The first three deserves love. I gotta finish Cobra Kai. I haven't finished it. I haven't heard
Men
anyone talk about it.
Men in Black. I haven't seen the third one. Um,
Hmm.
The Godfather.
Oh, I haven't seen Godfathers. Do I own any of them? I don't think I own them. No, I haven't.
Transformer.
Transformers 3 was actually pretty good. I don't know if it's considered a franchise now because they have like so many versions of them. I don't know what's what. Because I don't know if the one after the third one is a reset or a continuation. The third one was a Dark Moon. Um, it was good actually. I like the third one. It feels long though, but it was good. The third one I think gets slept on
I like
because you
third one.
still, yeah, because I think Optimus had a good one liner like when Megatron is like getting his power back. Um, I do find that Megan Fox fumbled herself a bit. Because she could have kept being in the third. She could have been in the third one because him having jumping from her to another girl out of nowhere. For me, I guess because I'm a one woman type of guy, I can't jump like that. Like unless it's been many years and I'm like, okay, it's time to move on, whatever. To go from that girl to the Carly, which if I'm not mistaken, didn't she work for the military or the FBI or something? Wasn't she part of government officials? I feel
Yeah,
like she was the same girl. I'm like, how you jump from Megan to wait, what's her name in the movie? Megan Fox's character. Freak, I can't remember. Is it Michaela?
yeah.
Michaela. Go from how you go from Michaela to Carly. I mean, maybe it works because you're involved in the government, but it's like, when did that happen? You know, it's just that's the only thing that just like what is this? It makes no sense. But yeah, I like the third one because Megatron's just like who would you be without me, Prime? And he's like, time to find out. And he just goes at him. And like, I guess you're better off without you.
Yeah.
But oh man, what's another trilogy? We said Back to the Future. Back to the Future, definitely one of the better ones. I mean, they all get celebrated. It's to the point where that they dedicate a whole scene of Big Bang Theory to the guys analyzing all the three movies, explaining the timeline stuff. It makes for a great argument. I guess especially if you're into that. But oh man, there's so many movies I haven't seen. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, crowds. despite being an actor, there's not a lot of movies I've seen. I went by whatever I grew up with. Pretty sure if I
Ghostbusters.
I thought there were only two.
They went off into bringing girls on. The third one was with women, all women.
Yeah, is that a continuation or that was a re? Oh no, it was written as
I,
Ghostbusters 3.
I think they just re
Rebooted it.
yeah, but
Yeah, that was my thing with Terminator Dark Fate. It was just like it was just the way they did about it. Like um, a spoiler for anyone that plans to see it. So if you don't want to hear this, then mute for a couple minutes. But like them getting rid of Connor and then a girl becomes the leader of the resistance is like they threw that in there and I'm just like what was the point of killing the kid? Like I don't get that. And the thing is like the robot the Terminator that's supposed to protect her is like apparently diabetic. I'm like aren't you a robot? Why are you like why are you diabetic?
Bang, 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 bang.
I'm like, what the flip is it? That's a mind you, this is not a sequel. This is not a trilogy. This is just a franchise movie. This is the last Terminator movie they made, and there's supposed to be an eighth one. And I know women coming at me like, well, women can't be leaders. Women can be leaders. It's just that, don't get me wrong, we have female leaders. It's just that the way that they're writing it, and not for nothing, DC needs to get better too. Like, this is a different layer, but DC fumbles when it comes to their female characters. When they have a female led role, movie, there are very few that do well. And then it's like I don't know if it's the writing or if it's like it's just a personal thing. We're like, we don't want to see girls lead. I mean, Sarah Connor is like James Cameron was always one of those that made sure like the female lead was well written or at least handled well, because you see that in his movies, even in Titanic. Like Kate, Rose with Jack, even though Jack is still alpha male, he's still, a guy's guy. He's still what a guy should be. He's not second fiddle to her in the emasculating sense. I think the problem is that, and I've seen movie critics say this, is that it's the fact that like they emasculate the guys in the way that they write them in order to enhance the woman. And the thing is, it shouldn't be like that. If you're trying to do a duo, if you're trying to do a duo or do where the woman is a lead. And you've seen examples. There are movies that were one-offs in the 90s where the woman was the lead and they didn't take away from what the man could bring to the table. There's a way of making a woman powerful without taking away what makes a man powerful in a good way. You know what I mean? So that's where like Terminator, I think Dark Fate fails, where it's just like why do that? Why do it in a way where like not that I mean they didn't emasculate it, it's just that to kill John doesn't make sense. You're adding another like what the flip type of moment for no reason. And then on top of that you mishandled the existing Terminator character and the female leads. Like, it's
that's a whole nother conversation, bro. Because
yeah.
I've expressed my feelings towards that too. It's made some of these movies and TV shows unbearable to watch because you can't convince me that a 90-pound woman can shoot you from 400 yards away with a pellet gun, carry a 200 plus pound dude on her back, and save the world. And this guy is dependent on her to do everything. It's like y'all don't know how to write these men and women to complement each other in certain ways because society has gotten on y'all case about making women look weak to men or something. I don't know what it is, but
There's just so much like objectifying on them to the point where it's like it becomes an extreme. You know, like there's not a lot of movies I've seen, but like, you know, I've seen there are movies with female leads that do well, you know, and not just in the cartoon movies. Like, you know, Black Widow. I mean, obviously, Black Widow has to be good. Like, you know, it's automatically a woman's character. But like, you know, Black Widow's winning well. But then for some reason, when DC, when they do Supergirl or anything like that, it fails, and we don't know why. I haven't seen it, but I keep hearing the same tropes that on DC for whatever reason they don't know, they don't seem to write their girls well. Marvel does a decent job of keeping them, you know, keeping them relevant at the if nothing at the very least, where like not relevant, but like Marvel does a better job than DC when it comes to that. And I know I'm going off topic, but like, you know, the trope with trilogies, the bad ones. Ooh, that's the thing. I like Jaws 3, but I can understand why people don't like Jaws 3. That's considered a bad trilogy, Martin. Even though it's considered a franchise because of the fourth one. Once the fourth one goes in there, uh, I don't know too many bad trilogy movies because I haven't seen it. Some of them. Do you have any that you're just like, oh,
Uh, a bad one. I'm thinking. Oh my goodness. Sharknado.
oh?
Sharknado
but
was fucking awful.
but aren't they all like just generally terrible, but they're fun to watch? Or was the third one just that bad?
I didn't like none of them, bro. I didn't like none of them. I'm sorry.
No, I don't blame you. I keep hearing people love them because they're just ridiculous. They're just like stupid fun, which I think was the purpose.
You know, another one, and this is not going to be very popular, but scary movie.
Oh, interesting. I could see that.
I like maybe the first one,
Mm,
but like I don't know, it was too cheesy to me.
yeah.
Um,
Oh, it was very raunchy too.
that that one scene always will have me roll. No, it's two scenes that always got me rolling. Ray under the bed, and he pulled the clown back out of the bed. And when my girl had to save the dude in the deep freezer,
Oh my gosh.
no, but like, yeah, I wasn't really too big on scary movies. Scream,
Mm,
Scream. I Know What You Did Last Summer was trash. I didn't like that one.
I
Um,
saw what I saw. Scene 6. Did I see that? I think it was that one. That the one with Jenna Ortega in it. I saw that. I remember the first Scream. I believe.
Rest in peace
Um.
to Hayden Panettiere too.
Oh yeah. It's crazy
I
how we start
forgot
this
she.
and we didn't.
I forgot
You
she
forget.
played in Scream.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. She is in Scream. Oh my god. You know what it is? I remember her for Bring It On and Disney movies and Remember the Titans. I Love You, Beth Cooper. I remember her for she did voicing for in Bugs Life. She played Dot. She played the little sister. I was like, I know that voice. I didn't realize it was her, and I was like, ah, that's right, it's her. And I knew it was her for years, and I was like, no, like what? When I heard she died, I was like, what the? I think that's a topic for another. I think next week we should probably talk about it because I think by then we'll probably have a better understanding of what happened.
Yeah,
So if y'all up for it, we'll talk. We'll give a better dedication to what happened. I think it's just best to let a little more information come out and not just jump on the bandwagon.
I think the next.
Um,
I think the next one should be about actors and actresses that have passed
mm,
in general, like because a lot of them have gone, and it's folks that people were like, I didn't know they passed away. Yeah, I didn't know even until just recent. Like you had a couple people from Power Rangers pass away. You done had people from all that from Nickelodeon pass away. Like
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, one of the girls just died from Nickelodeon.
yeah,
Oh my gosh. That's crazy. And they were young. These are young actors. Hayden was 36. I actually thought she was older. Michelle, I can't say her last name for the life of me. Michelle T something. She was an Ice Princess with Hayden. She died last year at 30, like 38, 30, like 39.
mhm.
But I think she was sick though. I can't draw too much suspicion from that. But yeah, the next one should be like I guess actors that died young in the last couple of years. Because there's something to be said about that.
Definitely, definitely. This is an interesting one though. I'm glad we did this for sure.
Yeah.
It's and the funny thing is there's thousands of movies out there, and if you come across one in your head, it's like, oh, how did I forget to think about that one? I forgot about it. But
Yeah, yeah. Well, how about we end it with this then? Like, what would you say? Do you have a favorite trilogy that is
my
rewatchable to you?
my favorite trilogy is just a toss up between the Terminator and Resident Evil.
Mm, interesting. We didn't even talk about Resident Evil. Okay, that works. It's sci-fi. It fits in your favorites. I love sci-fi myself, but it's very few. I love Terminator. Um, if I have to, ooh, this is tough. For me, it's between. There's a few actually. Like there's Spider-Man, there's Back to the Future, there's Toy Story. Um, if I had to go by what I watch the most nowadays, probably Toy Story. The first three Toy Stories. Because they're just written in a way, and it tugs at our childhood a lot. Um, it was emotional for us, for me, because I grew up with that, and um, I was one of those I don't want to grow up kind of kids. So Toy Story uh, brings that feeling back of like being 5 years old again. It brings back memories that are very pleasant. Um, I would say that, yeah, if I had to between a few of them, as much as I love Back to the Future and Spider Man, um, Toy Story is the one that's like just up there. That brings a
Final,
smile to my face.
one honorable mention, and I'm gonna shut up. One we did a million of them. I'm sorry.
Yeah, now you're good.
The Maze Runner.
Oh, interesting. I never hear
I
anyone say that.
I'm a fan of all of them. I enjoyed all of them. I personally didn't have an issue with any of them.
Mm,
But
mm, yeah. Honorable mention. That's the thing. It's not. For some reason, I thought of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, but that's a whole book. Those are books, seven to eight movies. Literally 8 movies. I know it's not a trilogy. I know I was like, you're not talking about trilogy. You're talking about franchises and stuff like that.
yeah,
But I thought of Prisoner of Azkaban. I remember that being like such a different tone from like that started. I think because that one started a whole different tone for the rest of the series because it was a completely different. I think it was a different director because the first two were campy and everything. I still prefer Chamber of Secrets, um, but I don't touch Harry Potter because it doesn't sit right with me as a Christian anymore to watch it. I know it sounds random to people, but it's just something I grew kind of being like, you know what, I can do without watching Harry Potter, but retrospectively, the third one is very impactful because it starts a new tone for the series. So that's why I think that's why I thought of it, even though it's part of a 8 movie series based on books.
Well, look,
And they had
man.
to and they had to split the last one into 2 parts. That's just crazy. There's 7. I think there's 7 books and 8 movies, only because the last book is so long. They had to do 2 parts of
Bro.
it. Yeah.
Shout outs, man. I'm gonna say that because yeah, this is up my alley. I got a lot of stuff to like right now. I'm watching Final Destination 3.
Oh,
Um,
I've seen that one. That's the one I saw.
yeah. So, and then I'm gonna shut up. We gonna come back next week. We got to do something next week because if I stuff just keep coming to my head. I don't want to do that, but
Yeah.
I appreciate you for pulling up, bro. This was
Yeah, I
a good
appreciate it.
talk.
Yeah.
We definitely gonna spin back next week with the young actresses. I think that's gonna be a goodie. They give me time to really think on that one for a second.
Yeah.
I do hope you enjoy the rest of your evening, and shout out to everybody who pulled up tonight.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it short, and I'm gonna post it immediately after this. I want to know from the people your favorites, your favorite trilogies, the ones you didn't like so much. I want to know what y'all think.
Yeah. Write in the comment sections. Write in the
Yeah,
comment section what's your favorites, what you don't like, and why.
exactly. Y'all be easy. Peace and blessings. Do me solid before you go.
Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button.
Peace.
Later.